Hey guys, Matt here, Whitetail Rampage. Today's video is going to be actually a flashback to 2017. This is the year that I second year of Whitetail Rampage. We didn't do a lot of filming then. We did a little bit. I do have footage of the deer I'm about to show you, but I want to do the story of this deer. So this deer in 2016 was a spike. Me and Kagan, who's also on the team, had already filled our buck tags. We were both out to shoot a doe. Took him out to the farm that I hunt. It's nothing but soybeans and corn. He switches it up. There's no woods, period. None. The biggest section of woods there, and the only section, is about as long as a basketball court and maybe 20 yards wide, if that. Very tiny. Never even walked into that place. So back to 2016, it was probably around 9 a.m. We had 3 or 4 does jump the fence and come in, and then Kagan's like, I'm gonna wait on the back one, it looks like the biggest. And I was like, cool, good deal. Well, the back one jumps, notice it's got a severe limp, really bad, and it ends up being a spike. So I tell Kagan, I said, go ahead and take a doe. So he shoots a doe, I shoot a doe, they both fall, and this guy just hangs around. So I called my mom, who hunts, and I was like, hey, I have a spike out in front of me. He's not doing well. You know, he was limping, could barely run. And like I said, I already used my buck tag, and she was pretty much done hunting for the year, and she was gonna be okay with me harvesting the deer and her tagging it. I know that might be frowned upon, but this guy could barely get around. So I call her, talking to her, she talks to my stepdad, they decide to let him go and hopefully he'll live. I mean, me and Kagan walked within 10 yards of this deer, literally, and he just couldn't run. He was walking, it was probably, I felt horrible, felt awful, and never saw him again that year, on cameras, nothing. So, rolling in 2017, we had a hitless buck. Kagan's son named the GDE, greatest deer ever. Come to find out later on, we had a second name for him on a different farm a couple of miles away because we had no idea it was him, Jigsaw. So on November 11th, it was opening day of gun season that year in Kentucky. I had a buddy, David Lewis, also on the crew. He had just got back from Iraq the previous year. And I asked my mom, I was like, hey, can I take him out? Take him out and set him up. She said yeah, so I took him out there and showed him pictures of deer that I didn't want him to kill, you know, up and comers, and then we had a couple other really good deer, but I was like, anything else you can shoot. Well, we hadn't seen Jigsaw / GDE all year long since he was in Velvet, so we thought he was just gone, and then we thought this was his summer home, he wouldn't be back. So like I said, opening day, and we set DJ up on that little section in the woods. There was a community scrape there. So for those that don't know what a community scrape is, it's not going to be the most dominant buck in the area scrape. Literally every buck that came through that farm hit that scrape, and they would hit it at least once a week. Jigsaw never touched it, never seen him. Also, the deer we call FreakShow, the one that's this video is about, never had a picture of him. Had one picture of him on the opposite side of the farm, crossing the fence, and never another picture after that. So we set up that morning, get DJ set up, and he sent me pictures of deer. Can I shoot this one? Can I shoot this one? I'm like, no man, they were all little ones. I was like, I want to try to let them grow. And then it wasn't 5 minutes later after he sent me a video of a little buck, I hear a gunshot, which I know it's him, and I look over. We're probably 350, 400 yards apart, and I look over, and I just see a massive deer running out of the woods, fall over. We'll come to find out, that's the buck my mom wanted to kill. That's the buck Kagan was trying to kill that he called Jigsaw on a different farm a couple miles away. And it was the GDE deer we hadn't seen all year. So we're going to do a video on that one too. We don't have any kill footage, but it's still going to be a great story on that one. But so he was the biggest deer we knew was on the farm. Then there was one other decent one. And then in the back of my mind, I thought about FreakShow. So like I said, hadn't seen FreakShow. Well, after Jigsaw got killed, he got killed on November 11th, opening day. About the 15th, I hunted, November 15th roughly, I hunted, pulled the Chippewa in, and noticed FreakShow had showed up. Now, we called him FreakShow because, like I said, the year before he was a spike and got injured. His leg had healed up, and he could run at this point. He just had 3 legs. So come to find out, he had shown back up 3 days in a row. First time was an hour before dark. Second time was 30 minutes. Third time was right at dark. So on the 18th, I think, so November 18th, 2017, I decided to go out and hunt. I hunted all day, hunted the morning, left, came back, hunted the evening. It was like 30-mile-an-hour wind gust. Horrible day. Kagan hunted all day that day too at the other farm. But it was not a good deer condition day. So it was probably 2 hours before dark. I was like, you know what? This little patch of woods backs down to a bottom and then a creek, and then we know a lot of deer come from there. So I grunted and I rattled a little bit and waited. Kagan texted me. He's like, you see anything? I said, nah, man, I think the wind's too bad. And it wasn't 2 minutes later, I caught a glimpse of a tail to my left jumping the fence. And y'all can check that out right now.
Hey guys, it's Matt with Whitetail Rampage. I'm going to talk a little bit louder today. The wind is really whipping here in Kentucky. I hunted this morning out of a box blind and saw 2 as I was coming in, and then it prevented me from getting in the stand I'm in now just because I didn't want to spook them off because this is the area they went. But I saw 2 after that around 9:30, even with the winds whipped. So my number 1 hitless buck, FreakShow, is actually taking over the scrape I have in this area. He's been in here 3 evenings in a row, twice right next to dark, so I'm hoping I'll be able to call him in this evening and get a nice shot on him. Oh baby, I just smoked my number 1 hitless buck, FreakShow. He's not too big of a deer, but he's just completely unusual looking. Oh, baby. What an evening. I gotta call some people, I'm sorry. Oh, man, that's what it's about. He's not a giant deer. But man, we live by the motto, shoot what makes you happy. And the buck we saw last year that I guess got hit by a car and had a broken leg. And he grew funky this year. Oh, man, that's what it's about. Shoot will make you happy, boys. I literally came in here this evening at 3 o'clock. Horrible wind. And put some shoe ready from scent balls out. And he came right, jumped the fence above me about 50 yards and came right down to it. And I smoked him, boys. Well, I'll cut back in whenever I get down out of the tree.
So as you can tell, I know it's not great camera footage. I couldn't zoom in because he was on me. I shot him at like 13 yards with the rifle. Couldn't move, he was facing me. It was a frontal shot, which I don't usually take, but it's what was given to me. He went about 20 yards, piled up, and I put another one, and it was over like that. But this is FreakShow. So the year before, he was a spike. Got injured, hit by a car. And the next year, he grew to this. The mass on the bases of this thing, is insane. This is a 2.5, 3.5-year-old deer tops. He's got double back hooks on the back. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. You got 2 drops on this side. 7, 8, 9, 10, split. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 points. If I didn't miss any. But yeah, this deer, obviously I would have loved to let him go another year. But where we hunt, there's so much hunting pressure around us that anybody that saw him would have killed him. But this thing, I mean, I will never see, let alone kill another deer like this in my life. But yeah, we appreciate all y'all watching. We're gonna do a lot more activity on our YouTube page. Please, please, please share it with friends. Hit that subscribe button if you like any of the content. Come back, watch our videos. We do a bunch of shorts. We're gonna try to do seasons as well. We all have a bunch of kids. I got 2, Kagan's got 45 it seems like, but and Chris and Steven and DJ, we all have kids. We're all younger, we all work, so we don't get out as much as we'd like to, but we try to bring the best content and just straight down to earth content. We're not gonna fancy ourselves up for videos. I mean, I'm wearing a long sleeve camo with shorts, so we're just gonna be ourselves, bring you everything that happens, the good, the bad, the ugly. But yeah, this was definitely probably the deer, you know, the once in a lifetime deer that looks like this that I'll ever kill in my life. But yeah, remember you guys, always shoot what makes you happy. It's awesome shooting big deer, but it's also great just having the experience, the adrenaline rush, and putting meat on the table. Y'all stay safe. Have a great year this year.